understand where they're coming from, because everybody has expectations. Everybody has um, a vision of what they want. And, your job as an agent is to always essentially be a part of their journey and be their cheerleader.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to The Closing Table. I'm your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. I appreciate you for pulling up a chair. And on this episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Nicole Giguere. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for having me here today.
Yeah, no. Thank you for being here. We always appreciate our guests taking time out of your very busy day and schedule to show us, to educate us and inform us on real estate. We like to start things off a little bit casual with the fun game, an icebreaker. For you, I have something called word association, Nicole. It's essentially just a few words, all related to real estate, but I want you to give your initial reaction to it, whether that's another word, a story, definition, whatever the case may be. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this. First one, property tax.
Ooh, homestead.
Real estate investment.
International.
Real estate attorney.
Ooh, I have a couple good ones in Okemos if you're ever looking for one.
Okay. Land.
Ooh, building and custom new construction.
Underwriting.
Yes, underwriting, I would say primarily good credit score, good debt to income ratios. Don't buy anything, essentially too much of a purchase.
Right. Last one, under contract.
Ooh, hooray, exciting. The feat is over of all of the bidding wars.
That's right. All right, Nicole, thank you. Starting off a little casual with us, a little fun icebreaker to get things going. Now let's poke into your world a little bit more, Nicole. If you can, in 60 seconds or less, tell us who you are outside of real estate.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Nicole Giguere, and essentially what I love to do when I'm not doing real estate is traveling. That is one of the main reasons I'm in this industry, so that I can afford to do more international travel, see different countries, make delicious cuisines, try new different things in the cuisines back at home. So I love cooking, spending time with my boyfriends, hanging out, and enjoying some good fun and friends.
Oh man, that sounds good. Anytime you just get in there and just have some fun with some recipes, and now I bet your boyfriend loves it. He just get to sit there and just eat, and oh man, beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for taking us, giving us a peek into your life outside of the busy part. So let's talk about the area that you serve. I want you to describe it for us. First, geographically, the location, any attractions, notable landmarks, things of that nature. Just paint the picture for people who's never been here, and then get into some of the real estate economic stats and things you have.
Yeah, sure. So I service the greater Lansing area, which is in mid-Michigan, it's the capital of the state. And so essentially, I market and help people buy, sell homes in, a 30-mile radius. I will do occasionally some other homes outside of that area, especially for specific buyers or sellers. But primarily, the greater Lansing area, we cover East Lansing, Okemos, DeWitt, Hazlitt, Grand Rapids, no, not Grand Rapids, Eaton Rapids, and some more of the smaller town, Potterville, Charlotte.
Right.
So, in our market, the average sales price is $240,000, and days on the market tend to be about 6 days on the market. And right now you're about $131 per square foot. That's, of course, with just the existing market and not so much new construction, because that's a completely different ballgame. So.
Right. Okay, cool. We've had a few agents. Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was going to say our month supply is 9 months or so, and we definitely need way more inventory for our active listings. So,
You said there's 9 months of inventory?
oh, sorry, 0.9 months.
Oh, I was say, wow, that turned over to point nine is crazy. So less than a month.
No less than a month. Yes.
Wow. Oh
Come
man.
off, and before you know it, you're just back to the finding the next property because they just
Yeah.
go off the market so quickly. 6 days time is nothing.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that that's just a perspective of it, especially with. I mean, you said the days on the market. What did you say, 6 or 8 days or something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's about a week until a house lists, and then it's essentially gone. So it would make sense that I mean, if you put a home on the market, it's gone that quick. I mean, there's going to be very low inventory with that being said. So obviously, it just shows that there's a seller's market and there's a higher demand for people buying homes. So just painting that picture out there.
definitely.
Thank you for
Most
giving that insight, Nicole. Let's talk about the situation with specifically first time home buyers getting
definitely.
into homes nowadays. I would assume that you've had situations like that. Now, have there been a situation where you helped a first time home buyer go from not being in a position of getting pre-approved to you actually walked them through the steps and provided them resource to actually get pre-approved? Do you have any examples of that you can share?
Yeah. Well, I would say I don't always focus on first time home buyers, but I have definitely been in the process multiple times with people, let's say, buying new construction for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people who might have had one existing house before, and then they just decided they're not finding what they want on the market because obviously low inventory. And so then they'll do a quick switch into new construction. And essentially, I've had a couple of people who've had not great credit. I've had a couple
Hmm.
people who specifically they're big dreamers and they have all these wants and wishes, but when you look at the debt to income ratio, um, the lender had to get really involved with, okay, you need to pay this credit card off. You need to do a little bit more in this. You need to stop spending money in this area so that you can afford the new construction dream house that you want.
Right.
And I think more situations with that. One specifically, I had this gentleman who wanted to build a custom home, and this was his dream for 10 years. And 4 years prior, and we looked at inventory. He was pre-approved for a certain amount, but he wanted like all the bells and the whistles, and every single house that we looked at just didn't compare to what he
Wasn't
wanted.
it? Right.
So essentially, I hooked him up with a fantastic mortgage lender with Dart Bank, and we just got right on him, and she's like, if this is what you want, we really need you to hone in on that credit. We really need you to stop overpaying and overspending on all these other areas, and this is what we're going to do. And so he
Hmm.
outlined, he was a teacher of all things, so I always said, we're going to do your homework. So, and that's and so within the last year of his looking, we got him all straightened up, and we actually recently just closed within the last month for his dream built home. So
Nice. Oh man, now that's a story right there. I like to hear about that. So, dude, I mean, what was so unique? Was there anything unique about his home? Like, what was super? I mean, or I don't
yeah,
know. Like, what was it that stood out?
well, it had an elevator to start with.
Oh, baller. Oh, that's baller. Oh, that's so hard. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you can stop right there. I'm already impressed.
Check.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
in the greater Lansing area, you don't find
Yeah,
elevators.
man, I know. Oh, I want to go to his house now just because of that.
Yeah, all
Oh.
in the comments below, just give a tour.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So let's talk to me. Talk to me. I know every real estate agent has their different methods of how they get clients. Now I know nowadays, depending on how experienced you are, you don't even do any like recruiting anymore. So like referrals. But do you have any stories where you obtained a lead or a client in a very untraditional way or unexpected place at all?
You know, I do a lot of open houses and more traditional things. However, I had a friend that I met back in college, and she graduated from MSU a couple of years ago, and we lost touch. I mean, the woman got married. She moved to Grand Rapids.
Mhm.
Uh, since then, she reached out to me, and this also is actually current. This is actually a current seller I have now. So essentially, she reached out. She was like, "Man, I had this one hilarious time that I was just thinking about you, I wanted to say hi and how are you doing?" And so we were just reminiscing on this one conversation, and that opened up a whole portal of you know conversation back and forth on what was going on in her life. And she said, "Yeah, getting a divorce, moving to Detroit, and
Mm,
thinking about selling her house." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm a real estate agent and I've been doing this for 7 years now. So why don't I take a look at your house? It's not really an area I service, but I'm up for a challenge." And so I went over there, took a look at it. There was a lot of stuff that had to be done and worked out.
yeah.
And essentially, it was going to be me or another agent that was out of area. I said, accepted challenge. Yeah. So actually, we just went under contract about 2 weeks ago. We had 4 offers, and I got her $15,000 over ask.
Over asking. I knew that was coming. Whew.
Yeah, she is so happy right now. So
Mhm.
an old friendship where you don't talk and our paths have not crossed at all. That's the best, really.
Mhm. That's
I'm tr-
nice. And you said she reached out via Facebook or social
yeah,
media?
yeah. And I
Look at
messaged
that.
and said, "I had this hilarious moment with you, and I just wanted to tell you." And I'm like, perfect. So
Right? You know what I'm thinking about now? I was just thinking about, like, you don't talk to somebody since high school or something like that. Then they randomly reach out of like, man, I know this is a random message, but I thought about that time you said that joke in the lunchroom when we was in ninth grade, and I just started busting out laughing. And then now you just connect and she sells your house for you. Like, that is a weird and random thing, but I love it though. That's the power of social media, being able to connect with people that you haven't even spoken to in so long and things. I mean, who knows if she already knew that you were in your profession, but I mean, just how the fact that the universe brought you two together and obviously it's working out. That's beautiful.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm a firm believer, essentially, that what you put out and what you give always comes back full
Is
circle.
what you get back. Talk
Hmm.
about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. So I mean, it seems like that transaction is going or going by or went by pretty good. You said it's under contract. Now, has there ever been a situation where you were listing someone's property and you may have thought or had expectations or maybe even set expectations for them like, I think we can get this sold within this period of time. But then for some reason it takes longer. Do you have any of those stories to share?
Yeah, I had one last year. It was a property in Okemos, and this client, it was just wrong timing. Uh,
Mm,
we had just hit our peak for the seller's market, and essentially, it was a beautiful subdivision, so the location was awesome. The condition of the house, there was a couple of things that needed to be fixed and worked on,
right.
and we did the best that we could with the circumstances. And then essentially, of course, like most sellers, they always want to have the house priced above what the market value is.
Right. Where do you think they get that number from?
I mean, I showed them the comps of what was selling, and so they said, "Well, but our house is different." And so we listed it about $20,000 higher than it was supposed to be, and
Mm,
it affected it. I mean, not only did we just hit the peak, but then we essentially sold it, below market value because it just sat there. And I thought we got the condition in a pretty good spot. But that goes to show you the power of, we don't set the price, the market sets
yeah,
and what
yeah,
the clients think the price is worth for that house. And it's a recipe, price, condition, location. If you get that perfect little remedy just right, then you'll probably sell almost all of your inventory.
yeah. I mean, I just feel like First of all, trust in the person that you're working with. Trust in the person that you chose to hire and work with, and that type of stuff. Let them be the guidance for that. But if in case people aren't seeing or hearing what the theme of this market is, you place your offer somewhere around market value, and more than likely you're going to get multiple offers, and one of them is going to be over asking.
Yes.
I mean, if you're not going to get over asking, you'll probably get exactly what you want. Maybe you'll get other benefits, other concessions, and things of that nature. But
Mhm.
don't make it be all about the money, please. Please, if you could take anything away from this video, please just let the agent be the professional in that case. That's just another story of the same thing. I hate to hear that, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. And it
I,
happens every day. Everyone,
mm-hmm.
right before you list the house, they are always challenging the price. It's always one of the last things I find that people
Yeah.
get everything ready. My everything's filled in, even the price that we initially talked about.
mm-hmm.
Like, well, could we still get it a little bit higher? And it's like,
Yeah, like I did just fix what's the name? Can we, I think it's a little bit more than that.
yes,
Calm down. You also have a special. You specialize in vacant land. Also, I think that's
I
a little unique. So let's talk about a time. Can you talk about a time where you helped the client find vacant land and then actually develop it into something that still stands and operates today? I know that has to be a nice process to witness.
it is, yes, and it's happened quite a few times. It's actually
Mm.
favorite things about real estate. So with I had two houses in Charlotte that were developed on, and they still stand today. What has happened was there was this piece of land. It was basically well, we'll say it's four individual parcels. Okay,
Okay.
and they not selling whatsoever. And I came in there, said, "Yep, I'd love to sell these, but we need to make them waterfront." So what was happening was in Charlotte, there's this beautiful pond, lake, whatever you want to call it, lagoon. And
Hmm.
the property lines were essentially just shy of about like I don't know, 10 feet. And I said, how do we get them waterfront properties? Because essentially that's what's going to sell these lots. And so I went through the township, we went through a variance, we got everything resurveyed, and essentially we got them to be waterfront properties. And so two of the clients were so gun ho, they just couldn't wait to start building their new construction because now they can put a dock out there, they can enjoy
Right.
water, do different features, essentially down by the area. And so um, I had two clients, one that's currently building now, and the other one that just finished their build last year. I got to be involved with every single process, down to how the house was positioned on this vacant lot.
Hmm.
And I got to pick and help them achieve all of the floor plan edits, everything that went along with picking the selections, the exterior, the interior, the finishes, the fit. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Oh man.
That is so empowering to be a part of
I
someone's
know, right?
journey on a
Hmm.
on land that they couldn't see, but I could see what could be built and
Yeah.
in it so that the natural light comes in. And oh, I love all of that.
I know, I know. I love that. As someone, I consider myself a creator and artist myself. I love to just take a abstract idea and turn it into something tangible that other people can see, grasp, feel, and observe. And it's a beautiful process. That's why I'm like, I know that has to be such an experience for you, especially being involved in vacant lands and new construction. So oh yeah, I can feel the radiance coming from you just describing it and the pride behind it. So well done right there. Well done, Nicole. Well done. I hate to bring up bad times and obstacles, but it's part of the job, right? There has to be a time where you had a closing day set, everything was good, but for some reason the closing day had to get pushed back. Let's say that reason was for something you did or your client did. Has there been a situation like that? How did it get resolved?
Yes, I have a very wild situation,
Uh-oh.
very atypical. I was representing a seller, okay, and
Hmm.
He was an architect, a builder, a developer. Okay. And it was a nature preserve, and it was in Okemos. And essentially, the way that this man set up the land was that he had to, it was all undeveloped land. And then what you have to do is you would have to get every single lot that was predetermined ahead of time plotted on
Mhm.
the the nature preserve, and that process alone took like a month and a half just to get everything plotted. But the thing that allowed every single lot to in there to be oh, what's the word? It didn't close on time. Okay, it was because not only did you have to have drawings from, we'll say, KEBS, the engineers, then you had
Mhm.
every single lot spoken for, and I had 14 of them. So I had to have every piece of land essentially called for so that we could close every single piece of parcel. And it was
Wow.
insane. So actually, everybody was closing 4 months, 6 months later than they were anticipating because the
Ooh.
way designed and set up. So, trying to find 14 buyers to essentially build out this whole piece of land was insanity. But I actually got it done, and it's probably my most rewarding thing I've ever done in my career. Um,
Mm.
and I even bought one of them just so I could complete the project because I
Good work. Good work. Look at you. Look at that.
yeah. So there was so much engineering involved. The good thing was is that all the buyers were really patient. I think you have to set up.
Yeah.
I said I have
Mhm.
like this is abnormal for our area. Usually you just buy a piece of land and it's already surveyed and everything's good, but no, you had to go through the township. You had to make sure that everything had a legal description, a new parcel description.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that took just so many months more than everybody anticipated. So that was on my seller because of the way he started developing the land. So
Yeah. Whoo, what a story. Oh, I can't imagine the stress and the pressure that you probably felt. Oh, my heart right now is just irregular heartbeat right now, just listening to that story.
and
But a
big
key, yeah, look, a key thing to that story that you said to help make it easier, and I promise you, I know this is the key, that you said you had patient buyers. Patient buyers. If they were adding some more stress to it, I know it probably wouldn't have made you feel any better. I mean, so shout out to them. So on the
yeah,
other side of patient sellers or patient buyers or whatever the case may be, you have people who can be quite demanding or difficult.
yes.
Have you had a situation where you've had to deal with these demanding, difficult clients, and how did you manage that?
Yeah, I would say probably 50% of my clients are demanding, but I
Ooh,
don't in a negative way. Um,
okay.
I just mean in general, when it comes to buying and selling a house, you get a lot of people in general who have
Mm-hmm.
because watch things like HGTV and kind of they kind of set the tone of what they want, but perhaps their budget doesn't allow for it, or
Yeah.
essentially, you know, the things that they want, they're going to just have to do themselves. And so, gosh, I mean, I think the biggest thing is you need to, as a real estate agent, be very good about being patient and also understanding what the client wants and being realistic
Yeah.
essentially with what it is asking for. If you know for a fact that that's not going to happen in the marketplace, just essentially let them know right up front. And, you know, understand with where they're coming from because everybody has expectations. Everybody has a vision of what they want. And, your job as an agent is to always essentially be a part of their journey and be their cheerleader, right? And so when I'm handling difficult situations or difficult clients, I never raise my voice. I'm always trying to be very professional.
Mhm.
Um, if that means making sure I don't have a tone, an attitude, the idea is to just be as in tune with my feelings as well as theirs, and always try to find the reasoning behind why they're coming at me in that manner. Because, yeah, whether it's buying vacant land to build a new construction home, which is a very daunting task for some, or buying a house that is their dream house, or something along the way, family members can get involved, and essentially their opinion will start to dictate what the buyers or the sellers' opinions are. And as a professional, you have to be the mediator. You have to
Yeah.
be always in control, or try to be in control of the situation when things feel out of control sometimes, to ensure trust, ensure that you are the right choice for the job. And so, I mean, there's so many little specific examples I could give you, but I think patience is
Yeah.
essential. Yeah.
Yeah. Communication and setting those expectations as well. I think you said it right then and there. I mean, that's an easy way to pretty much diffuse the situation. Mm,
Mhm.
and remaining professional. So hats off to you. Everybody can't do that. Everybody isn't built for that. So that
No,
takes a special skill in itself. So
sure. Especially with emails, I always relook at all of my emails to make sure that no one is perceiving my response as negative. It's always
mm,
um,
yeah. Yeah.
same with my text messages. I just that
Uh,
transparency has to be there,
yeah.
because they're going through a very emotional process of buying or selling or purchasing. And yeah, I think just knowing that there's going to be that roller coaster for them.
For
So
sure. For sure, for sure. Being in this market, the Lansing, East Lansing market, we're right here in College Town, MSU, Michigan State University, right?
mhm,
Let's talk to the people, the audience watching right now who are either college students, parents of college students, or just interested in purchasing property in a college town.
mhm.
Are there any advantages and drawbacks that you can speak on professionally and or personally in regards to investing property in a college town?
Yeah, sure. I would say I've had a lot of people before in the past, ask me to find some type of a house that they could purchase for renting purposes.
Mhm.
And that's a very challenging thing, specifically in the city of East Lansing. They're very limited, and they have a lot of restrictions around certain jurisdictions or neighborhoods that don't either allow new applications, or they don't allow for you to not live in the property. A lot of these new rules or rules that have been established. Basically, they'll say you can have one other person other than you that's unrelated to basically live into the house, and that doesn't always work for people. Especially
Mm,
a lot of ideas of, oh, I'm going to invest in real estate and I want to rent it out, and I'm going to make my mortgage payment, pay for all this other stuff while I'm building. And I would say, when you're first buying your house, especially if you're going to focus on East Lansing, don't look for the rental. You're going to
okay.
miss out on a lot of great homes, specifically in East Lansing, if you're just looking for the rental aspect. Um, if you're looking for that rental aspect, then I would say go to Lansing, because Lansing has a lot to offer. They're more flexible with that, and I think ultimately the price for the house is also more in favor for that buyer that is maybe a college student, or just getting their feet wet in the real estate market.
Right. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, as a former college student myself, I can say it would be very, very challenging to own an investment property in a college town and
Hmm.
not live there. Whether I live there or not, the fact that I know how college students get down, like I mean, they will trash a place. So I mean, just thinking about adults, like sometimes they can even be sketchy. So now I'm worried about college students. So yeah, I much rather purchase a property. and have
Yeah.
it for the long run than do the rental. That's just my personal opinion. I just want to throw that out there, but to each his own, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I must say, my mother, who's also a real estate broker in Stockbridge, she had a
nice.
property in East Lansing, and I grew up learning this the hard way. I was in fourth,
Oh,
and there was a house that she had, and she had a lot of turnover rates. It was great. Lots of great people that needed a little bit of place to stay, but some that stayed there trashed the
yeah,
place. In fact,
yeah,
she had to evict two tenants before, and the police had to come and evict them.
yeah,
So the whole
yeah.
rental idea can look really charming, but I would say, yeah, much better to just own your own personal residence if you
Oh
can.
yeah,
Start building up, start in Lansing, then work your way up. I think that way you know that you can afford your payments because
yeah,
city of Lansing is a little bit more on the expensive side. And yeah, but it's doable in Lansing for sure.
yeah, yeah. I know as a homeowner, I was renting out. I know anytime Michigan State beats Michigan, a couch is going to get set on fire. So no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Nicole, do you have any stories of a particularly rewarding interaction or relationship that you developed with a client throughout your real estate journey?
Yes. There's one in particular. Um, they are fabulous. They were a great couple that I actually randomly picked up the phone one day. I call them sky buyers. They picked up the phone. We started chatting really well on the phone, got along great, and they had me come over to their house. I took a look at it, gave them an evaluation, and essentially they said, "Hey, we're thinking about moving and building." And I said, "Great." So we came up with a strategy for the house. We got it in mint condition, sold in 3 days. Meanwhile, I found them vacant land. They purchased that, and then they built their dream home. And I got to be a part of all three transactions. And
Nice.
what a wild adventure that's been for 2 years, because essentially that's what it was. It's you have to be there for the long haul and answer all of their questions. And I mean, I feel that this relationship's going to be there for a long time. um, you know I just feel like I'm a part of their family, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, and I
There
think
you
that that's
go.
special. I think that connection with friends and family. I mean, sometimes it just gets blurred with work, because if you're always working all the time, sometimes your clients do feel like family because you're serving them, you're serving the community, and
Yeah.
that's what this whole business is for. Creating bonds and relationships and feeling that they can trust you to refer their friends and family, because it can be a very intimate process. And lots of emotions are high on that, and good trust and dedication to seeing out a job get fixed and completed, and a job well done. I mean, this is the thing that people spend most of their money in, is real estate, and
For
it's a
sure.
task. Yeah.
Yep, yep. As a realtor, you're like in a good way, you're the gatekeeper to the communities. You help assist people and put them in place where they're gonna build community, in some cases for lifetime, in some cases temporarily, but nonetheless you build the communities
Yeah.
regardless. I wanna kinda switch this last question, right?
Okay.
And I want to ask you about this, 'cause especially since you specialize in new construction. If
Okay.
you are aspiring homeowner now, 2023, knowing what you know in your market, right? You want a new construction.
Okay.
Uh what are, and like I said, knowing what you know now as a professional, what are the benefits of getting new construction in your market, and what are some of the disadvantages of new construction in your market in 2023?
Hmm. Well, I would say being one of the first homeowners in a brand new subdivision
Mm,
essentially will always be key for being able to reap the money out of that investment. A lot of people don't want to be the first. And so what happens
really?
is, as time goes on, the prices keep getting higher.
Mhm.
Everybody says initially, oh, prices are very high to start with in the subdivision. Well, as soon as it starts filling up, time, material, labor costs, all that goes up. So the people who first buy into the subdivision and the people that just finish up the subdivision, there's going to be a huge price gap. And so if you're looking to invest, I recommend being the first to the plunge on that.
Mm.
Some of the drawbacks would be, ooh, well, I guess if you're building in a subdivision where all of the houses are, let's say, 20 years old, and it's one of the last vacant lots in the subdivision,
Ooh.
yeah, then definitely now on your investment, because the market, it tells us that houses are only maxed at this, and you're the highest house
Yep.
neighborhood.
I
So
would just be like, yo, let's just make some space to put another house right here or
yeah,
something. I don't want to be the last one.
no, no, no one wants to. So that's a
Mm-mm.
piece of information I feel everybody should know. And yeah, that's why they sometimes sit for so long. You'll see everything completely booked out, in a subdivision, and then that one or two lots, they just sit and sit and sit for years,
Yeah.
and most people
Yeah.
can't make their money out of that.
You know what, Nicole? I just want to share my perspective on how weird I am. When I see a new construction, new home, I don't care if it's a brand new restaurant. The one thing that impresses me about a brand new home or restaurant or whatever is the fact that it has a brand new toilet. I want to be the first person to sit on that toilet. Like the first, I don't want to cuss, but I want to be the first butt in that seat. Cause I know it's probably the most comfortable time. Nobody has been in there. I want to break the seal, but that's a whole nother conversation. Thank you so much, Nicole, for putting up a seat to the closing table. We appreciate you at this time. If you have any last words and or want to tell the people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
All right. Well, if you want to ever follow me on Instagram or Facebook or my website, you can go to www.nicolegiguere.com, or you can do hashtag, Giguere Estates, or at Giguere Estates. I'm everywhere online. So
There it
if you
is.
build, buy, or sell.
Come on now. Well said. Thank you so much, Nicole. We appreciate you for being here. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, please do us both a favor and hit the like button. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. If you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. And Nicole, we like to leave our listeners with a question before they leave the room. So just for you audience, would you own a home in the same town that you went to college in? If you do or did, describe your experience. Go off in the live chat. Just put them in the comments below. Besides that, talk to you next time.